So this is Coffee with Smok. Today we are in English, and for a good reason. This guy. So stick around. Talking devices. So the other day I was trying to transcribe my Polish video on YouTube. As it turns out, Google won't allow you to do so. So we know that Google has the tech. So that shouldn't be a problem. So what I ended up doing is basically starting the video on my computer and set up a smartphone next to it with Google's voice keyboard. And Google Keyboard transcribed it for me. But I wish it wouldn't be so hard.
But then I remembered that in our Amazon team, we had Alexa's hackathon, and we have those two fantastic devices. So I thought, why not borrow them, play with these for a bit? Let's see what we can do with this. Alexa, start knock knock joke.
Alexa, start a knock knock joke. Knock knock. Who's there? Would who? Would you let me in? Knock knock.
This is Amazon's Echo, and it allows you to use Alexa. So you can get Alexa talking in different languages. Unfortunately, Polish isn't one of them. That's a shame, but yeah, if you don't know what Alexa is, it is a voice service that it basically acts like your gateway to the internet and devices, like smart TV, smart light bulbs, everything that you like. Let's try it and use it in English and see what we can come up with. If you don't know me yet, I'm a software developer in Amazon. Having that said, I'm not Alexa or AWS developer, so it's not official tutorial. Please treat this as a friendly advice. If you have a little bit of, let's say, IT background, you can code simple logic, but you can also call external services. So for example, I can check how many subscribers I have now. Let's try it out. Alexa, start MyTube.
Welcome, your subscriber count is 238, and your view count is 11,848.
I just got new subscriber. Hey, that's great.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
So you can try it out even if you don't have Amazon's Echo. But I highly recommend you get it, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, if you don't have it, don't worry, you can still try it out. Go to developers.amazon.com, and if you log in there, you can create your Amazon skill and you can test it out on the website and then have it on your Echo. Before we try the YouTube thing, let's start something simple. So I have created a simple addition skill. Let's try it out. Alexa, ask my math to add 5 and 7.
Your addition is 12.
That's our result. As you noticed, the skill recognizes two addends. So there is a simple logic there. Let's try and recreate this. So first step, go to developer.amazon.com. Alright, so we are here. We have Amazon Alexa. Let's go there and sign in. Oh shh. Not talking to you now.
Sorry, I don't know that.
So I'm signing in. And now I'm going to my Alexa console's skills. And here are my skills. So I have my math skill. I'm going to delete this. Yes. And start from scratch. Create skill. Skill name, my math. Got it. I need to select English UK because I'm here in United Kingdom. And it is very important, if you select it wrong, it won't work. Alright? So we have a lot of models here, but we go with custom. We don't need anything else. And we have a method of hosting. So if you have Amazon AWS account, you can use self-hosted. This means that you will need to provide ARNs to your lambdas, okay? But let's go with the simple option and use Alexa hosted. This is new, it's in beta, but it works great. I have tried it, it works fantastic. Okay, so let's go back top and create skill. And this is doing two things. So one of the things is, okay, creating the model, and it will provision AWS resources to you as well. So what do you get in those resources? So you get a Lambda, which is the place where you will be storing your code. You get some S3 storage. and you get access to the CloudWatch logs. Okay? A lot of stuff is happening here, but don't worry, we'll go through the most important stuff first. So we start with the Build tab, and Build tab is actually a setup of everything, right? So what do we have here? So what we actually need to understand is the interaction model. It is here, right? And under here we have invocation and intents. So invocation is very simple. It's basically a way to call your skill from Alexa, right? It's called myMath. So whenever I say, Alexa, start myMath, I'm getting to the skill. So you can call it whatever you like and start it with something different. So myMath is fine for now. Let's go to the intents. Okay, so immediately we see we have some built-in intents. We don't touch those for now. These are required for every skill, and it's basically a way to do some important stuff around Alexa's skills, like cancel, help, and so on. Okay, so we have hello world intent. So the main part of intent are utterances, and this is basically a fancy name for a phrase. So whenever you want to actually do something within the skill, all you have to do is say one of these. But because we are doing the addition, we don't want them here, so let's erase them. Okay, done. And now let's add a simple phrase, just add X and Y. Okay, here it is. And now we need to add slots. What are slots? Basically, X and Y are slots. This is a slot. So whenever we want to grab a number or anything else from the user, we need to create a slot. And how we do it? We basically select a fragment of text that will become a slot, and then we can select existing slot or create a new one. So I'll go ahead and create both X and Y. Okay, got him. It's not working. Oh yes, I had to click. So if it's not refreshing for you, all you have to do is click on the intent slots and it will work. And next step is to actually select a slot type. So number. This will be our slot type for X, and number for Y. Okay, we have two slots. Basically, that's it. Save model and build. So as you see, the intents are kind of like a functions. So if you have addition, you can create addition here. But if you will have like a subtraction, you will need a separate intent. Yeah, you cannot do two things within one intent. So this could be useful, for example, if you have like a memo skill, right? One intent would be used to create notes, and the second one would be to remove them or list them or whatever. Whenever we want a different function, we need a new intent. So we see that our build is successful down there in the corner. That's great. We can move on to the code. Let's go to the code tab. This here is JavaScript, right? But this one is type safe, so be aware. And whenever you actually use a string or something like that, you need to parse int. So be careful with that. This looks fairly complex, but actually it isn't. So what do we have here? Handlers are basically hashes that contain two functions. So basically handle is a function that returns true or false whenever this particular handle can handle this given intent. And handle is actually the function that is being called whenever this intent is being handled. So this is a kind of like a if statement, right? This here is what happens if this if statement is true. At the beginning, we require Alexa SDK, and then we declare all of our handlers, and at the end, we add them to the skill builder. That's how Alexa knows about its handlers. So, as we can see, we have hello world intent handler here. So we can go up. We have handle, speech text, hello world. If I ask Alexa for addition, I will get this. Let's try it out. Let's go to the test. If we enable this, you can try it both here in the Alexa simulator and here on your device, right? So this is enabled. Let's try it out. Alexa, ask myMath to add 5 and 4.
Hello world.
All right, that's just what we expected, right? So if we go to the code and see how intent is looking, we see that we have hello world. Okay, thank you, Alexa. And now let's try it in the simulator again. So what I'm going to do is just type exactly the same thing that I just wrote, or I can use the mic. So let's go ahead and try it out.
Hello world.
Okay, hello world. So let's get back to the code and code the intent. So basic math, that shouldn't be too hard. What we need to do is to actually access the slots. So in order to actually do it, we are going to copy the intent from here. So this is where Alexa will fill our slots with data. So if you want to know the full structure, the link is over here. But for now, you can take my word. Let's go with slots. Okay, and we have first slot, it's named X, and we need a value. So this needs to be assigned to a const. Const X equals handler input value. This is a string, and we want an integer. We parse int. Okay, parse int. We have parse int. 10. So this 10 here means that we are using base 10. Okay, and let's do the same thing for Y. Okay, so we have two addends here, and all we need to do is create a sum. Yay! So now we want to output this to the user, and we are going to do this by replacing hello world with text in backticks. Backticks are used in JavaScript to mix text and variables. So let's go with your answer is, and now I'm going to use $, curly braces, and sum. So now I need to save and deploy. Alexa, ask my math to add 7 and 5.
Your answer is 12.
That's exactly what we wanted. Fantastic, it's working. So as you see, it's not very hard, but you need to understand one thing. If you make a mistake here, Alexa won't tell you. Let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Alexa, ask my math to add 5 and 7.
Sorry, I couldn't understand what you said. Please try again.
It's not an information about error, so if you make a mistake, it will be hard to find out. So how can you tell what's wrong? Well, it's not that obvious, but if you go down here to the left, you will see logs Amazon CloudWatch. If you open this one and go to the first log stream, you will see that you are actually having an error. So this is your error. If something is broken, you can just look here and you'll know. But I bet that you would like to know how I made the YouTube thing. So I'm not going to write it from scratch, but I'm going to show you my source. So I have this my subscriber skill. Let's go in and check the invocation. So the invocation is myTube. As I said previously, it doesn't have to match your skill name. So we have dummy intent, a placeholder. So I'm not using it, but every skill has to have at least one intent. Now let's go and check the code. So everything is happening at the launch request handler. I'm using Google API to fetch my YouTube stats. So I have HTTPS GET, which is calling the YouTube API, and it's fetching the data. Then I'm parsing the data from a JSON string. And as a last step, I'm adding the values here into my speech text. So let's take a look into the HTTPS GET. As you noticed, this is returning a promise. And the promise is very simple. I will give you the data from this URL. URL is an address of an endpoint in Google APIs. So I have here my channel ID and my secret key from Google APIs. Go to Google API portal and then you generate your API key. You also need to enable the YouTube API. So when you have these two, the last step is to get your channel ID, and you can find this in the URL of your channel. So copy that, paste it here. That's it. It's very simple, it's very easy to use, and Alexa can do much more. So that's it for today. If you have anything to share, leave a comment down below. If you like it, consider subscribing. Thanks!
The skill
Alexa,
Magic
stop.
can help you with
Alexa,
that.
stop.
Did you want to enable it?
Stop.